last day of the month of January. Doesn't it feel good to be alive and kicking? Well, it does feel good to be back on your screen. This is the Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV. My name is Osasoge Ide. Well, it's a full house today. Get to meet my co-host and our guest after this break. Now, finding out that your loved one has been diagnosed of cancer can be a bitter pill to swallow. Taking care, being saddled with taking care of this said person is another journey entirely. Today on the show, we are going to be exploring some of the ways to care for cancer patients because on the 4th of February 2022 happens to be a day set aside for cancer awareness globally. Today I am on set with my gorgeous co-host as usual, Favor of Vienloba, Joy Matthew, and we are joined by a guest, a health educator and the executive director of Better Health Initiative. Her name is Mrs. Obey Enaru. I hope I got your name correctly.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Okay, so as a health educator and someone who has been taking care of patients, cancer patients over time, just walk us through your journey. How has this journey been for you?
It's been tough.
Okay.
It's been tough. Like, there are no words, but fulfilling, I must say. It's been fulfilling, it's been challenging, it's been satisfying. So, yeah.
Okay, so some of these people that you have worked with, I'm trying to think, predict a scenario now. As Nigerians, normally, when you hear that somebody has sort of a terminal disease, the first reaction is usually, hey, God forbid, oh, not my household.
Exactly.
So how has the reaction been for most of the people you've worked with?
Dramatic. You see, the first thing that comes to their mind is God forbid, like you said. So they are always in denial. Nobody wants to accept sickness. So I think with time, everybody gets to adjust. And thank God for, should I call it civilization? You see, the acceptance is, it's not as it used to be. Now people are getting to be more aware. So it's made our work very easy.
Okay, as a caregiver, you just said something about denial. Most patients would want to live in denial and say, no, this is not my reality. Let me ask, does stigmatization come with these persons? Is it that there is an atom of stigmatization and that's why they would rather withdraw and say, no, this is not my reality?
Of course. You see, initially, people used to feel, oh, cancer is a big man's disease. So when you tell a poor person you have cancer, they're like, no, it's not possible. It's not me. I heard it's big people that suffer from this thing. So, of course, stigmatization and all of that. But our work is getting easy because of the enlightenment and what has been going on.
Would you say that it's been challenging? You know, Nigerians are really religious. We hold on to our faith. Does this help in any way, the faith figure in Nigeria? Does it help cancer patients get through their journey successfully?
You see, you want to touch a very, a very large,
very, very sensitive.
So there's this woman I used to know. She had cancer, and she told me, and the pastor told her, "Madam, see, don't go to the hospital. I give you 1 month. This cancer will disappear."
Wow.
But it didn't. So I believe in God. We all do. We should, as a matter of fact. But you have to help yourself. You can't just put faith in front. You have to. Medicine is very important.
How often do you get cases where the faith comes in contract? Like, how often do you get issues where it becomes deteriorating?
Out of 10, I would say 8.
8 out of 10.
Yes,
People
that's
hold
why
on
I
to
said
faith.
it's a very large topic.
So in that situation, how do you get such people now to believe that, okay, it's okay to believe in God, I still believe in medicine? How do you do that?
You see, people, especially Nigerians, they love example.
Okay.
So you might be suffering from something. Once you see someone going through that same thing and you hear, "Ah, this person had this now, this person is dead," you know, be like, "Hey, Jesus." So they want something they can see. So when you are giving them a real life example, like, look at this person. This person is going through what you are going through right now, and this is what the person did. This is the person is fine now, and all of that. They'll say, "Oh, okay. So what should I do?" But by the time you are just coming with stories to say, you see, this is how it is. No, you have to show them. You have to give them an example. Like, this is me, for instance. Do you know what you're going through? I've gone through it. I'm well now. I'm okay now. They'll be like, okay, oh yeah, now carry me along. So that's just it.
So from your experience so far, what are most of the main? We have different cancers. We have breast, cervical. Which of them have you really worked with? Which are breast cancer?
Yes.
So what would you say are the risk factors for breast cancer?
Okay, you see, generally, the cause of cancer is unknown. So no one has been able to pinpoint this is the cause of cancer. But there are risk factors, things you should avoid. A healthy diet. Try and... A black man doesn't want to exercise. You want to eat and top it down with one large soda, then sleep. So try and do something creative. Exercise your body. Stay away from this harmful radioactive wave. You see this mass. Someone is coming to you to say, I want to put a mass in your compound. I'll be paying you so amount. And you're happy. Those things are harmful. It should not be in a residential area. Don't abuse alcohol, tobacco. So these are some of the things you have to stay away from to avoid cancer. Breast cancer especially, it's been, I don't know, there are no words, but breast cancer is getting more and more rampant by the day. That's why we advise girls, we advise ladies, when you've gotten to the age of 25 at most, try and go for screening. When you notice a lump in your breast, no matter how small, go and get it checked.
Okay, so talking about diet, I'm sure there's somebody out there saying, hey, they have come again. No? People usually don't want to hear about what they're supposed to eat and what they're not supposed to eat, and it's always a struggle. I can attest to that. Yeah, there are some days that you just have this off day and you just want to chill with that large soda that you talked about. So what are some specific foods that you can say, okay, one should avoid, and some that you can say, okay, one should incorporate more into their diet?
Okay, packed foods, for instance, canned foods. People love tin tomatoes, but get the sachets if at all you must. Personally, I go to the market, I get tomatoes, I blend, boil, and put in my fridge.
Oh wow!
So there are things you can avoid. You want to eat Titus, you want to eat all of that canned food, but is it really necessary? Are you willing to pay for it with your health? Try and eat vegetables, fruits, shop, carrots. These things are so helpful. You have no idea the wonders it can do to your body.
Wow.
So necessarily, just stay away from packed food, junk.
Okay, so as the Cancer Awareness Day approaches, which is 4th of February, would you say there has been more awareness created? With the awareness created so far, would you say it has made any impact at all, or there should be more awareness created for cancer?
Awareness can never be enough. So World Cancer Day yearly is a call for help. You and I, everyone has a role to play. So there can never be a case where awareness becomes too much. So we just have to keep doing it. People still don't believe cancer exists. So we have to keep doing it.
Okay, this year's awareness has been themed closing the care gap. Probably it's too much. What would you say as a caregiver, as an educator, what would you say are some of the challenges that you have observed when it comes to caregiving as a caregiver? What are the challenges that caregivers has experienced?
Okay, I would say finance. Finance is a major issue. So many people want to get treated, but they don't have the means to. And quality health care. So I would say cancer, the truth of the matter is, in Nigeria, the healthcare service is poor already. So cancer on its own is
Another
yes.
old big deal.
So I would say the access to quality healthcare is a major challenge. Education is a major challenge. So I would say age too. Age can be a challenge. So there are so many challenges affecting cancer patients and caregivers.
Okay, but from the perspective of somebody caring, you just said something age. How would you describe the rapport between patients and caregiver? Is it any bit easy? You're not the patient right now. You're caring for somebody that is going through pain, going through. Does it at any point get to you? Does it get you involved? What are some of the challenges that on your own, not being a patient, you have experienced?
As caregivers, I think there's emotion. Definitely, I can't take emotion out of it because you see someone who has been living well. It's not like you've had an accident, but something just come and changes your entire life. So I would say this emotional attachment is definitely there. So when you're caring for cancer patients, and you see most of these people are just like they've lost hope. What comes to their mind is, oh, I've been diagnosed with cancer, I'm going to die. So you have to start working on their emotions and just like give them hope.
Like you stand to be their pillar at that point in time.
Exactly, because they are confused, their family members are confused, everybody around them is confused. It's just you.
Okay, let's talk about the improvement rate. You know, if it's diagnosed early, how would you say the improvement rate is? You know, is it higher when it's diagnosed early or late?
Early detection is the key. Once you early detection, once you are being diagnosed early, you have like should I say a 90% chance of survival because it doesn't kill anymore. It's when you do not diagnose on time. Yeah. So I saw a woman recently, her breast was rotten, and she was like she's been taking the native drug. And I'm like, when I saw her, it was in a really bad shape. When she went to the hospital, I'm talking of ERA Specialist Teaching Hospital, the doctor just called me. I was like, this woman you brought here, her condition is worse. So sadly, but she didn't survive. So if she had known, if she had touched her breast, and we advise you can do a self-examination yourself. You don't have to go to the hospital. So if she had touched her breast and felt a lump, if she had it checked early,
but haven't there been cases where, you know, they don't feel lumps on their breast, but then they still have breast cancer?
No, it's
because
rare.
that is the only way we've been taught, even right from secondary school. They tell you,
Check
know,
for
Put your
lumps.
hand up.
touch round and
No,
all of that.
it's rare.
Right.
It's very rare. You must feel the lump, no matter how small it must be there.
Because sometimes they even say breastfeeding mothers, you know, difficult for them to have cancer because they breastfeed every time. But yeah, we still have breastfeeding mothers who still have breast cancer.
Okay, I'm a breastfeeding mother. So there was a day I was breastfeeding my baby and I felt a lump. And I was like, Jesus, what is this? So I went to the hospital and the doctor was like, no, but you should know this is how this thing is now. It's the milk. I'm like, I don't want to know. So even as breastfeeding mothers, you must do your part. If you notice a lump, if you are worried, it doesn't cost much to check. So you should, that's not an excuse.
Okay. So now, talking about being a breastfeeding mother, something came to mind. So there are some myths that we've heard, like superstition that we've heard growing up, that I want you to address now from your experience. Do you think that having cancer, any form of cancer, can be hereditary? Let's say, for example, a mother has it and then passes it on to the child. Is that possible?
Sadly, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. You see, if you come from a lineage where you know this sickness is already there, then you have to you have to work harder than anybody else. So that's just the truth. If there's someone in your family that has been diagnosed with cancer, you have a lot of work to do. You have to be extra careful.
Wow.
So there's a high percentage that you might get it. So you just have to work really, really hard.
Okay.
It's not a myth
So
after all.
wait.
No.
So aside this hereditary, thank you for uncovering that. I bet you get to hear stories. You get to hear different versions of events. what other common myths have you heard from people when they say, oh, I thought it was this, or I thought it was this? No, they asked me to take this and it was fine. What other myths have you heard that, hearing them, I know some persons will still believe in them. What other myths would you say are very common and people should just disregard them now?
A lot. For breast cancer, some will tell you if you are diagnosed with breast cancer, put a needle, insert a needle in your nipple. Yes.
People say this.
Yes, leave it overnight.
Wow.
You will feel pain, but bear it.
Oh my God.
People do this.
Yes, you will feel pain, just bear it. Leave it overnight. Then in the morning, take it off. You see that lump will just dissolve.
For clarity's sake, does this work?
It doesn't.
Oh my God, that is so
Doesn't correlate. Yeah.
That's
You leave it
ridiculous.
overnight.
Yes, they'll tell you, madam, it will pain you, but bear it. Once you can bear it in the morning, the lump is gone.
Wow.
I don't even know how to react to this information. This
Then
is
for skin cancer, they'll say bathe with omo and palm oil.
Omo, like
Yes.
that
Detergent.
ash
Yes,
detergent.
not the normal omo, the blue normal omo. They'll say don't use any other detergent, so it must be omo. Add palm oil, rub it on your skin. In fact, bathe with it for 2 days. That skin cancer will go.
So people have come up to tell you that this is what they tried.
Yeah, some will say drink urine.
Do they actually tell you that it worked for them?
apparently not. Okay.
They are just assuming. They'll say, my grandmother had this thing. This is what she took. Your grandmother didn't know what she had. So,
Yeah, I get. Okay, nice of you to mention some skin cancer, like my colleague earlier mentioned. There are different kinds of cancer, and growing up, even in schools, then they keep emphasizing on the breast cancer. So I remember even as a just two students, yes, we had some people from NGOs come to our school and they tell you take your hand up. This is how you search for lump, but there's something called cervical cancer, and it's still as rampant as the breast cancer. So how do you check for cervical cancer and other type of cancer? Now we already know that we can check for lumps for our breast. So how do you check for other forms of cancer?
Okay, for cervical cancer, you have to go for, there's something we call pap smear. So you have to go to the hospital and tell them you want to do a pap smear. So there's no self-examination for that.
Yeah, but the process though, I remember we talked about getting the pap smear. A lot of people out there probably don't even know what a pap smear is. So just walk us through kindly. For some of us who don't know what a pap smear is, the entire procedure, is it a painful one? Is it a rigorous one? Is it something that you just, I don't know, just
how often should you even be
doing that? Yeah.
So it's not hurtful at all. It's something you can definitely endure. So we'll suggest like once in 3 years is very fine. To be on the safe side, once in 3 years is fine. You go to the hospital, they
the process.
Pap smear you.
Okay, now you've talked about pap smear for women, we've talked about breast cancer for women. Let's just dive a little bit to the male aspect. What are those very common cancer that men could be prone to that they should be aware of?
Men have breast cancer too. You don't know that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very common too. So I've seen so many men. When you go to area specialist teaching hospital, like that is, you'll see a lot of cases at ERA. You don't even have to go far. So there are so many men there suffering from breast cancer. So when we say breast cancer, people just think it's women alone. No, that's not
So men
true.
should also do the whole lump search thing too.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we're not limiting it to
Our brothers
women
out
alone.
there, you're listening.
Okay, so aside the breast cancer, that now it's both gender, what other cancer are prone to the male gender? What would you say they should watch out for?
Prostate cancer too. Yeah, so like I said before, they should avoid excessive intake of tobacco and alcohol.
Okay, now we're rounding up now. Just the last question. We have so many NGOs here and there. What do you think they should do more to create awareness?
I think this awareness of a thing, they have to go to the grassroots. You have to visit villages, women, traders that still don't know cancer exists. So when we talk about awareness, it's not just it's not a surface. Don't touch the surface. It's very deep. So I think grassroots awareness is very important.
Okay, thank you very much. That's been a very interesting and educative conversation here in TSL Nigeria TV studio. I want to say thank you to our guests for honoring our invitation and coming to lecture us. And thank you to my co-host as well. And as the World Cancer Day approaches 4th of February 2022, let's do ourselves good as we get ourselves checked and make sure we're in good shape. That's how much we can take today on the Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV. Please do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up there on TSL Nigeria TV. Until we come your way next time, my name is Favor of Vienloba. Thank you for watching.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.